Welcome back, everybody. Now we're going to be doing front brakes on a 2013 Nissan Ultima SL. So again, pay attention, learn something. Oh, there's grinding on this side. See all that dust coming off? Alright, now as per last video, look around, everything looks good. There's no damage, there's nothing to report, okay? Now, let's go ahead and get the caliper off. Pull this out of here just to get the screwdriver in here a little bit. Get that compressed. These have steel. You can see the drums are steel, so you're not going to hurt it using a screwdriver. Put that in there and just push on it. It's nice and slow. Make sure the cap is off the master cylinder when doing so. This wheel wants to turn. Make sure it stays in there. Push it nice and slow until it goes all the way back. You want to be careful. You don't want to do any damage to the rubber grommet that goes around the piston. As you can see, that's perfectly fine. Now this one's stuck. Now we do not have extra hardware for this side, so you've got to want to be careful that you're not going to damage the hardware that is here already. And it looks like this brake pad has kind of slid off of the track. All right, let's get this side off anyway. There we go. You don't want to. Make sure you're grinding right there. Rotor, it's not too bad. It's very minimally worn, and it's not thin. Go ahead and get this back on here. Now, as per the customer's request, we are only putting the brakes on here. Go ahead and put the brakes on. Now, you want to be careful with this little mechanism here. This one is supposed to be in here. This one is supposed to be on the outside. You go ahead and turn this just so that you can see it. So you're going to put this in here, but you want to make sure that this is inside of that. And then just kind of push it in there. This helps pull this out. Okay, and you're going to do the same thing with the inside. I'm going to make sure this tab is in there. And then just slide it in there like so. That should fit in nicely. And there you go. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but when I was turning this, I was pushing on this. This is your grommets, your glider pins. And you're going to feel these to see if they need greased. Now, this is not an open system, so it should not have any dust in there, and they're free moving. They're not, there's no binding, there's nothing. So I do not have to worry about greasing this. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and put this on here. And a lot of times I don't mention the glide pins because of the simple fact that when I go to put these on here and then I push it back, that's when I feel the glide pins on how it feels. So let's go ahead and get this going. And we'll get this one going. Now, some of you have commented you don't use an impact hammer. This is a very lightweight impact hammer. It's not going to be tight enough to where it's going to break bolts or anything to that matter, and it will put it at a good enough torque spec to where you don't have to worry about anything else. A lot of times I like to just check it after it's done. Sometimes I don't, because I don't need to, just to make sure it's tight. We're working on cars long enough just to know. Okay, so that's how you go ahead and do the brakes there. We're going to go ahead and throw the tire back on. And this has another one of them bevels. You have to make sure it sits in there. This is also kind of difficult getting your fingers in here, and there's no real depth to these, So whenever you put the socket, like if you're going to use the socket to start to put them on the nut, then they fall in and then they won't reach. Okay, so sometimes it's a pain. So you just got to get your fingers in there and make sure it's threaded on that lug so that way it don't cross thread. I don't know how many careless mechanics I've worked with that just, you know, put them on there and zip them on. They don't even care if they're cross threaded or not. And while I'm working on this, I'm just going to tell you now, if there's any wannabe mechanics that's going to post in here telling me what I'm doing wrong, you will be blocked. Go waste somebody else's time. And not only that, but if you know how to do brakes, why the hell are you watching my videos? All right, and one more. That one didn't feel. There we go. There it is. 2012 Nissan Ultima SL. Have a good day.